I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat. I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
What's the most important issue in the governor's race here in Virginia?
Getting back to the basics of teaching children, not teaching them critical race theory.
And what is critical race theory?
Well, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it because I don't understand it that much. I don't understand it that much. I don't get into the specifics of it because I don't understand it that much. 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 I don't understand.
And what is critical race theory?
Well, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it because I don't understand it that much. But it's something that I don't. What little bit that I know, I don't care for.
And what have you heard that you don't?
Well,
that you don't like?
I'm not
really
gonna,
bad for you. No good. Really bad for
I don't.
you.
I don't because I don't understand it that much. Because I don't understand it that much. Because I don't understand. I don't have that much knowledge on it. 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 I don't have that much knowledge on it.
No good. Really bad for you. And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position. You're not like some retweet. That was an opinion of somebody.
Even before you do that, and not even including that, that's why I hardly even included that number, although in one state we have a tremendous amount of dead people, so I don't know. I'm sure we do in Georgia too. I'm sure we do in Georgia too.
The really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
But you have to go home.
We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened. Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know. $7 million for reef fish management. $25 million to combat Asian carp. $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
Force the vote, sure, was a failure. Force the vote, sure, was a failure. Force the vote, sure, was a failure.
Get your words straight, Jack.
Oh, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce. Oh, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup for my family. You're so innocent. This is soup for my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right?
Honestly, Sam, if I could just get this sentence out. We can talk about Jimmy Dore can go and kill 15 kids tomorrow, and I still believe in force the vote.
In person, in my office, in Philadelphia, should be done. Should be done. In person, in my office, in Philadelphia, 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 in Philadelphia, in Philadelphia, in Philadelphia, in Philadelphia, in Philadelphia.
Who are you worried about? I'll tell you who I'm worried about. I'm worried about the fact that our workers are seeing a decline in their standard of living. They want to see our industry be rebuilt. That's what they want to see. No more B-2 bombers. No more Star Wars.
The battle of righteousness versus Satan. Yes, Satan. Because these leftists are evil.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by go. You know the thing.
Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? Is it on? Testing. Testing. Testing, 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 testing. 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 Hello? I think it's on. Wait. Wait. Actually, no, it's not on yet. I'm sorry. Just kidding. Psych. Alright, it's on. Alright, folks. This is a show. We got a show here. Oh, where's this dog? Let me get this dog in here. Max! Get over here, buddy. Get the hell in here. We got Max the dog. Maxie! Oh, I threw the pillow on him on accident. Maxie! Look at the dog, folks. We got a dog here. That's right. Bring your paws up. Paws, paws, paws. Oh. Woo! Look at this animal. This is a wild animal, and he's got clothes on. Look at that. Who did that? Why do you have clothes on? You're a wild animal. Max is like, she only pays attention to me when people are looking. Oh my goodness. You're a needy pup. You're a needy pup. Needy pup! You're so needy! Oh my god. Why? Why? Look at him. He's so happy. Oh. So we got Max the gosh darn doggy here for another episode. Another episodic Instylation of Above It Goddamn All, folks. The most supreme, wonderful show that's ever existed in the history of shows. That's right. Hi, everyone. Oh, he doesn't like that. Hi, I'm Max the dog. He doesn't like when I play with his paws. But I'm doing it anyway because I'm in control. That's right, Maxie. I'm in control. He goes crazy when you get him on the back. Whoa. Whoa. Look at him. Are you hearing the dog noises coming out of this creature? There's some dog noises going on. We got some classic grade A dog noises. Uh-oh. He's gaining strength. He's gaining power. Look at him. Oh my god. Max is having the time of his life right now. He's like, what did I do to deserve this? Look at him. He's going crazy. He's out of control. He's out of control. Wow. Whoop. There he goes. All right. He's done. All right, folks. Bada boom. Max! Oh, shit. Oh my god, I love this goddamn dog. Oh, there he goes. Oh, and now he's rolling. He's rolling around. He's happy. All right, folks, we got a goddamn here. I would even go as far as to say, we've got a motherfuck. But I'm not sure, like, that's still, that's like a pending further review. This is not a peer-reviewed statement right now. But we do have a goddamn. That's confirmed. It could very well be a motherfuck, but we're not sure. So again, we're holding on that one. And once we get some review, then, then there you go. All right. Folks, we've got breaking news. Samuel Sater has liked the tweet about the drawing. It's happened. I got my booster appointment for next Friday, so 7 days from now, I'm going to get... Maybe I'll get it in the right arm just to mix it up a little bit, But I'm going to get the booster, and then I'm also going to get the flu shot. So I'm going to be fucked up. I'm going to be fucked, and not in the good dick way. I got to wait at least 2 weeks for that to kick in, right? Just kidding. When they stick me, I'll think of you. I don't know. Anyway, so we got a goddamn here. We got a goddamn, and after we're done with the goddamn, we'll then transition into the motherfuck, but of course we got to start with the goddamn. And on the subject of goddamn, the war on Christmas. Folks, there's a goddamn war. I'm hearing gunshots outside every single day. There is a fucking war on Christmas. So Fox News has been talking about this. They're like the only outlet that talks about this, that talks about the war on Christmas. And I don't know why that is, but we're going to get into that. So here we have Fox News talking about the Christmas tree, the Fox News Christmas tree that was destroyed. It was brutally murdered live on stream. Let's watch.
During the Christmas season, we start the program by showing an outside shot of our all-American Christmas tree on Fox Square. But last night, shortly after midnight, somebody climbed up in the tree and lit it on fire. It's beginning to look a lot like arson. Right now, there is somebody who is in custody and is being interviewed by local police.
Who sets a Christmas tree on fire?
Who sets a Christmas
Well,
tree
I mean, it's just part of the rampant, no city is safe, no person is safe from the subway on down. Here you are at 48th and 6th, right in Midtown Manhattan. It has become a tourist attraction. Every year it gets more and more people, and just one psycho goes up, ignites this thing. Thank goodness we have very excellent security. Within 2 seconds, he was tackled to the ground. He was subdued, and then they find out that he's under arrest right now. Massive investigations through the night. It took place just after midnight last night. Shannon Bream's show was covering it from Washington, D.C.
So sad. We have security tape around the tree right now when you walk in. No more music, no more tree.
Yeah, I think it's
infuriating.
I think it tells the bigger story. I mean, since this city is so out of control, especially in Midtown Manhattan. Yesterday we're covering
we used to love.
Right, but yesterday we're covering stories about raids in Pacific Palisades and Beverly Hills, California, and then in 48th and 6th, this is a tourist attraction from around the globe, and they sit there and they have this.
It's around the globe. People will literally fly from fucking New Zealand. They will fly from Russia. They will fly from fucking, Brazil, all to see the fucking Christmas tree, the Fox News Christmas tree.
One lunatic is able to penetrate in a matter of seconds, ignite that tree on fire. Thank goodness there's not other structures around it, but our whole lobby was full of smoke, evidently.
So, folks, this is actually really interesting because they mentioned that they stopped playing the music. Now, to my understanding, and I could be wrong, so please bear with me here, trees do not create music, to my understanding. And again, I could, I'm not the smartest motherfucker around, so this is just my understanding of the world. But trees do not generate music. So the idea that the tree got burned down and they're just going to voluntarily shut down the music, the terrorists won. I don't know what to tell you. The terrorists have won. They destroyed the tree, but more importantly, they destroyed the Christmas spirit. What are we going to do on December 8th? And right now it's December 10th, but this clip was from the 8th. What are we going to do without Christmas music? Does anyone know? Are we going to be able to survive without Christmas music? The terrorists have won, folks. We are not able to celebrate Christmas for the entire month of December, for the entire month of November anymore, because the terrorists have won. The war on Christmas has occurred. It is over, folks. It is done. It is done, folks. In fact, I'm honestly a little bit scared for the future. I'm going to be honest. I don't mean to be a doomer here, but it looks like Christmas is over. And so, it's beginning to look a lot like arson. That was so good. I gotta be honest. But anyway, fuck Christmas and fuck you and fuck Jesus and fuck your tree and fuck that tree. Fuck Christmas music. Christmas music sucks. Fuck Santa Claus. He looks like a fucking idiot. Fuck Jesus again. Just so I got all my bases covered. In fact, fuck Jesus one more time because fuck Jesus. And also fuck Christmas. Fuck you. And fuck Fox News. So there you go. Got all that out. I'm trying to get some knots out of my hair. as you can see. This is my strategy for unknotting. What about the Holy Ghost? That motherfucker is going to be the bullet Holy Ghost when I'm done with him. That prick. Yep, we got a lot of bullshit in the hair. Look at this. Look at this. How is this even possible? Like, how is this? Is it even possible? Or have I been transported into an alternate dimension? God damn, folks. It is the Letter Act's 147th birthday. Have I tried brushing the Paladin? I swear to God. I swear to God, you motherfucker. Have you tried brushing the knots out? First of all, I get the knots out like this, and then I brush the hair, because brushing knots out is a little more difficult than it sounds. But yes, I have tried brushing the knots out. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. All right. Woo! I'm feeling a little highly caffeinated at the moment. Oh. Wow. Ooh. Feeling a little woozy all of a sudden, but I'm alive. All right. All right, I'm good. Okay, so we've got some good news, folks. All right, this is good stuff. So I covered this story where Kellogg's, a cereal company that mass manufactures poison with the intent to get children addicted to drugs, aka high fructose corn syrup and sugar. So a drug addiction for children company is abusing their workers. The people that mass manufacture these poisons and drugs for children to consume are being mistreated, abused, and they went on strike because they want better wages, they want better working conditions, etc. Kellogg's decided, fuck that, let's see if we can tap into this labor shortage. And there's a dog here, so I just wanted to shout out to that dog. They wanted to tap into this labor shortage, see if they can get anyone else. But we've got an update to that. Reddit users are taking up the cause of Kellogg's striking workers. That's right, folks. Reddit has done it once and for all. So, approximately 1,400 Kellogg's union workers have been on strike since October 5th at factories in Michigan, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee over outstanding issues in their contract negotiations. The workers, who are represented by the Bakery, Confectionery, Tobacco Workers, and Grain Millers International Union, rejected a tentative agreement offered by Kellogg's on December 7th. On that same day, Kellogg said it planned to hire permanent workers to replace the employees on strike. Well, certainly not the result we had hoped for. We must take the necessary steps to ensure continuity. How will society manage to survive if kids are not force-fed drugs and addictive substances that kill them at an alarming rate and put them on again, it's a drug addiction. Let's just be full stop. Frosted Flakes, drug addiction. All of the things that Kellogg's manufacture, Pop-Tarts, drug addiction. It's a drug addiction. They're training kids to be addicted to poison for the rest of their lives. Full stop. Anyone who pretends otherwise is a fucking moron. At least one subreddit community has an answer to this common union-busting tactic. Flood Kellogg's job website with fake applications, making it harder to replace union workers. The subreddit r/anti-work wants to support Kellogg's employees. The idea to support Kellogg's workers began circulating today, December 9th, on the subreddit r/anti-work. In a post that now has 56,000 upvotes, user Bloomin' Funyuns shared links to several jobs posted by Kellogg's at the site where workers are striking and encourage users to submit fake applications to clog their toilet of an application pipeline. The user recommends fake applicants use sample resumes from Google Images, along with zip codes and area codes from the cities where jobs are listed to avoid being filtered out. User AlarmedTree723 shared a post recommending people use Microsoft Edge to autofill applications, making it easier to fill out several at a time. Kellogg's did not reply to a request for comment. The support for Kellogg's union workers is no surprise coming from r/anti-work, a subreddit that has gained more than 900,000 new members this year and has been described as the poster child of the Great Resignation. On r/anti-work, users commiserate about poor pay and labor conditions, often posting messages of solidarity for striking workers across the retail, entertainment, and manufacturing sectors. Folks, fuck Kellogg's, fuck poison, right? Fuck sugar. Fuck these stupid-ass big food companies. Breakfast doesn't exist. Fuck breakfast. If you are eating breakfast, chances are you're a scumbag. No, I'm just kidding. But, really, you don't need breakfast. Let's look at the typical American diet. You eat breakfast with sugar, right? So you got a sugary breakfast, right? Why do you need that? Well, you need the energy, right? You need that energy. But wait, that energy runs out around 11 a.m. Then gotta have that sugary lunch. Get that energy back. Boom. I'm working. It's noon. I'm 1. I got my, mid-afternoon coffee. I got my sugary ass, fucking stupid ass burrito or whatever. Right? Boom. I'm back in business. Then by the time 4 or 5 comes around, oh my God, I'm so tired. What am I gonna eat? Sugar. That's right, folks. The American diet is based on killing you. That is all it is. Food companies, their sole product is killing Americans. Do you ever wonder why when these sugary cereal companies, this breakfast propaganda campaign, processed food, all that started in the 60s and 70s, you ever wonder why healthcare costs have skyrocketed since the 60s and 70s? Maybe it's because everyone eats all this fucking garbage. There is not a single Kellogg's product that you ever need to buy ever. Don't boycott Kellogg's. Just stop needing their products. You do not need Frosted Flakes, motherfucker. You do not need Pop-Tarts. They are entirely irrelevant to your survival. You are not feeding your family if you buy Frosted Flakes. You are killing your family if you buy Frosted Flakes. You are not feeding your children if you give them Pop-Tarts. You are giving them drugs and addicting them to very life-altering substances that are probably going to plague the rest of their lives, okay? So stop now. None of this shit is necessary. Boycott this company indefinitely because, again, none of its products are required for survival. None of them have any nutritional value, and they abuse their workers, and they destroy the environment, and they destroy everything that they ever touch. Let's be honest here. So fuck Kellogg's, fuck that shit, fuck cereal, fuck breakfast, and, shout outs to Reddit. Wasn't I going to talk to that family who buys 13? They never replied to me. I invited them on the show, but they never replied. 95%, folks. 95 goddamn %. You know what I love about the world? You know what I love about the world? Unions. So in other news, there was a union drive for Starbucks in Buffalo, New York. And they won, folks. They won bigly. So let's read. This is from AP. In a first, Starbucks workers agree to a union in Buffalo, New York. Starbucks workers at a store in Buffalo voted to unionize on Thursday, a first for the 50-year-old coffee retailer in the United States, and the latest sign that the labor movement is stirring after decades of decline. The National Labor Relations Board said Thursday that workers voted 19-8 in favor of a union at the Elmwood Avenue location, one of 3 stores in Buffalo where elections were being held. A second store rejected the union in a vote of 12-8, but the union said it might challenge the result because it wasn't confident all of the eligible votes had been counted. The results of the third store could not be determined because both sides challenged 7 separate votes. So I want to be very clear. This is a multifaceted statement that I'm about to make. If you vote against a union, you are misinformed. There is no like, oh, I have a different opinion. No, you're dumb. If you vote against the union, you're just dumb. And I'm not necessarily saying that makes you a bad person, right? Because these corporations will literally spend look at Amazon and the Bessemer, Alabama union drive that happened earlier, right? These corporations will spend billions and billions of dollars to lie to you. So it is no surprise that a lot of these union drives fail, right? What really matters is that workers have solidarity and they cut through the lies. They cut through the bullshit and they inform their fellow worker, right? And that's one of the problems with these corporations is they lie so goddamn much. They're willing to spend billions of dollars on lying to their employees, but they won't spend those billions of dollars on giving them better working conditions, better wages, right? All that kind of stuff. And that's why unions are so important. Starbucks and Workers United, the union vying to represent the workers, have 5 business days to submit their objections to the election results, the Labor Board said. If objections are filed, there could be a series of hearings and appeals that delay certification of the votes. If no objections are filed, the results could be certified as early as December 16th. That's in less than a week from right now. If the Labor Board certifies the results and one or more of the stores unionize, they would be the first Starbucks-owned stores in the U.S. to be represented by a union. The company has actively fought unionization at its stores for decades, saying its stores function best when it works directly with employees. Yeah, of course they're saying that. The election comes at a time of heightened labor unrest in the U.S. Striking cereal workers at Kellogg Co. rejected a new contract earlier this week. Thousands of workers were on strike at Deere & Co. earlier this fall. And the U.S. Labor Board, and by the way, I believe they did get a contract and they won their strike. And the U.S. Labor Board recently approved a redo of the union vote at the Amazon warehouse in Alabama after finding the company pressured workers to vote against the union, which is what I was mentioning earlier. Labor shortages are giving workers a rare upper hand in wage negotiations, and Dan Graff, director of the Higgins Labor Program at the University of Notre Dame, said the pandemic gave many workers the time and space to rethink what they want from their jobs. Starbucks workers watching the vote count on Thursday over Zoom on a big screen at the union office in Buffalo erupted into cheers and chants. I believe I've got a video in another tab. Let me go get that real quick. But again, you love to see it, folks. I don't know what else to say, but you love to see it. It's just great stuff. It's just really good. Here we go. So we got Bernard, good old Bernard tweeting this out. So this is the reaction to the union vote. So there you go, folks. Back on top. How no kudo Bolsonaro? Fuck Bolsonaro. Reminder, folks, let me tell you the story, my Bolsonaro story. When I was living in Washington, D.C., Bolsonaro visited Trump, and by that I mean he visited the CIA. Bolsonaro, when he came to Washington in 2018, I believe it was, or 2019, I think, he visited the CIA first and then met with Donald Trump. I wonder what that was about. But when his motorcade was pulling in to, I believe it was like the Blair House across the street from the White House, I was in the front of the crowd of people that were protesting, and I gave him the double middle finger, and he observed through the window the double middle finger. I interacted with the president of Brazil, and I did this, and he was forever owned. So I believe that is what shattered him so much so that he caught COVID like 4 times. But anyway, just my little Bolsonaro story. Fuck that motherfucker. Ooh. Almost puked. All right. My hair is like a mess today. I love that story. It's a great story. It's a real classic. Reactionaries are class traitors. If you're right wing, you're on the side of the elites. That's so true. Like, imagine, right? Imagine being more concerned. In fact, you know what? Let's get into this. Critical goddamn race theory. I want to play a classic clip real quick that sums up the average Trumper when it comes to critical race theory. Let's listen.
What's the most important issue in the governor's race here in Virginia?
Getting back to the basics of teaching children, not teaching them critical race theory.
And what is critical race theory?
Well, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it because I don't understand it that much, but it's something that I don't, what little bit that I know, I don't care for.
And what have you heard that you don't?
Well,
that you don't like?
I'm not going to, you know, I don't.
I hate to say this.
I don't have that much knowledge on it, but it's something that I don't care for.
I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
So we got these dumb fuck motherfuckers out here. Like, we got these dumb fuck motherfuckers out here that are, like, again, they're just brainwashed, right? These are the stupidest ass bitch motherfuckers and their parents. They're breeding. They are breeding. Think about this, right? So you got a dumb fuck. You got another dumb fuck, and then they have kids, right? And they raise their kids to be dumb fucks. That's what happens. And then you got like a whole family of dumb fucks. And then you've got the critical race theory garbage. So here we have a situation in Texas. In Texas, a battle over what can be taught and what books can be read. A new state law constricts teachers when it comes to race and history. And so again, I mean, these motherfuckers are dumb. In late September, Carrie Damon, a middle school librarian, celebrated Banned Books Week, an annual free speech event with her working class Latino students by talking of literature's beauty and subversive power. A few weeks later, State Representative Matt Krause, a Republican, emailed a list of 850 books to superintendents, a mix of half-century-old novels, The Confessions of Nat Turner by William Cyron, and the works of Ta-Nehisi Coates and Margaret Atwood, as well as edgy young adult books touching on sexual identity. Are these works, he asked, on your library shelves? Mr. Krause's motive was unclear. But the next night, at a school board meeting in San Antonio, parents accused a librarian of poisoning young minds. Days later, a secretary sidled up to Miss Damon and asked if district libraries held pornography. Again, right? So what this is, the critical race theory bullshit, is where you have the right wing, like the Koch brothers funded fucking like media machine, lying to parents, right? And when you convince a parent, right? When you convince a parent that their kids are under attack, right? They will literally do anything to save their child. And that's why critical race theory is so subversive. That's why it gets at the heart of these people, because they're reactionary goofballs. They're losers, right? So they think that the idea of teaching kids about slavery, teaching kids that gay people exist, right? That's literally going to destroy their child's well-being. Their child is going to die or turn into, God forbid, a gay, right? And they will do anything they can because they think their children are under attack. And when you can convince someone of an alternate universe where, like, the liberals are attacking your kids, again, they will literally do anything possible, even if it means violating all of their own values. The party of free speech, that's what Republicans love to say. Free speech, free speech. I've been censored. Look, we got canceled. Cancel culture. Now, look at what they're doing. They're banning books under the auspices of critical race theory and LGBTQs, right? They're gonna, the children, oh no! Texas is afire with fierce battles over education, race, and gender. What began as a debate over social studies curriculum and critical race studies and academic theory about how systemic racism enters the pores of society has become something broader and more profound, not least an effort to curtail and even ban books, including classics of American literature. In June, and again in recent weeks, Texas legislators passed a law shaping how teachers approach instruction, touching on race and gender, and Governor Greg Abbott, a Republican with presidential ambitions, took aim at school library shelves, directing education officials to investigate criminal activity at our public schools involving the availability of pornography. So what is pornography by these definitions? It's like literally basic sexual education. That's pornography. When you show the bodily anatomy, and that's pornography. That's what that is. That's like, so, but again, the outrage here is just, it's all reactionary, it's all garbage, it's all shit. Critical race theory is a ghost. It doesn't exist. There is no pornography in schools, and if there was, it's not put there by the schools themselves. It's probably a bunch of high schoolers stuffing that shit in the goddamn library for later, right? Again, it's fascinating to me. Again, it's fascinating. That, like, people are willing to do all of this shit. School board meetings. Like, right-wingers are willing to go to school board meetings and literally threaten to kill people, right, over the perceived threat that their kids might have a slightly negative opinion of America because they're told about American history. And also, if you really loved America, wouldn't you want to change it? If you really wanted to be a patriot, wouldn't you want to fix the country? Right? Doesn't that make sense? Right? Like, doesn't that make sense? Let's keep going. Education is not above the fray, it is the fray, said Robert Pondicio, a former teacher and senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute of Public Policy Group. It's naive to think otherwise. In Texas, conservative slates have claimed majorities on school boards in large suburban districts, including South Lake near Dallas and Cypress Fairbanks near Houston. One of the other problems is it motivates right-wingers. Right-wingers are motivated to take over school boards and institute these bum-fuck, stupid-fuck policies, and left-wingers don't care. Have you seen any... let's not even talk about left-wingers. Let's talk about Democrats, right? Liberals. Have you seen any liberals do anything about the school board takeovers in this country? Have you seen Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer going out there doing fundraisers for people and doing these raising awareness campaigns that take over school boards in favor of liberals and democracy? Nope. Because they don't give a fuck. Democrats don't give a shit. And Republicans are really good at motivating their base to do stupid fuck garbage, right? So let's keep going. Critical race theory is a convenient boogeyman. But what are the limits you want to put on teachers, said Joe Cohn, legislative director for the Foundation for Individual Rights and Education, a civil liberties organization. Do you really want to give them no breathing room? Do you want to shut down a curious student? Legislatures would be wise to be modest. So again, you can read the rest of this. This is on the New York Times. You can read the rest of this later. But again, education in this country has always been garbage. That's really how, let's be honest here. Education is not about teaching children about history. It's not about teaching children and equipping them with critical thinking skills. It's about mass manufacturing obedient workers and drones. That's what schools are. Schools are just another industry, another corporation that want to sell a product to the American corporations, right? So that product, obedient workers and drones, right? Now, again, I want to tell you a personal story. And so I dropped out of high school. But slightly before I dropped out of high school, one of the last years or semesters that I completed, I failed a class with over 100 points. Explain to me how that's possible. I failed a class with a grade of over 100. It's possible because of attendance, right? I failed because of attendance. I knew everything. I filled out all the tests. I got everything correct, but I failed because I didn't show up to school on time all the time. And so that is, again, that taught me a very fundamental lesson. Schools are not about learning. They are not about meeting new people. They're not about experimenting. They're not about, branching off and learning new ideas. They're not about teaching critical theory. They're not about making people thinking, rational beings. It's a giant industry with a product to sell to American corporations. That's all it is. The product is obedient drones. That's all it is, and that's probably all it ever will be as long as the United States of America remains in this neo-fascist, crumbling way that it is now, right? So again, schools are garbage, right? They're trash, right? But sometimes there are teachers that are able to make an imprint. They're able to cut through the bullshit. So again, not everyone that goes through the school system turns into an obedient drone. That's the intention of most of them. But again, we're now looking at a new generation, Generation Z, and the millennials, right, that are able to do their own research. They have access to things like the internet. They are capable of learning outside the school system. And that is a giant threat to the capitalistic way that this country functions, right? Again, you're looking at these younger generations, Generation Z, millennials, that are much, much, much more well-educated at a much, much, much younger age than any people like Gen X and beyond, because they actually have the abilities and the tools to do their own research. Now, again, libraries were great. They're wonderful. But it's a lot more difficult to go to a library and check out a book and know what books to check out and know how to, that's a lot more difficult than just watching a couple YouTube videos or watching a podcast or just looking at a couple articles on Google, right? And so, again, the access to information is way, 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 way better now than it ever has been. And so that's why these battles are happening in school, because it's a way to control children. They want to control what children are exposed to as much as possible because they know that the avalanche is coming. They know that the, way for them to indoctrinate people is going to be ending very soon. If not, it's already over. So this is like the last gasp of Republican outrage. But again, it does have effects, right? It does actually slow down progress. And that's why we have to be very vigilant about this kind of stuff. Critical race theory doesn't exist. It's not real. And if it was real, I would support it. But it's not. The only thing that you can even tie to critical race theory is college lectures, college lens of analyses, right? They're not teaching third graders about how critical race theory, is the most important issue of our time. It just doesn't exist. It's a boogeyman. It's manufactured outrage. And again, fuck schools, fuck education, all that shit's garbage. Fuck attendance, fuck homework. All it is training you how to be an obedient drone and a worker. You have to work at home. Think about that. Homework. What does that teach you? Homework isn't about, it's not about, learning and because homework, all it is repetition and it's busy work. All it does is try to teach you, you should do work outside of work. You should be thinking about work outside of work. I always did my homework at lunch period. Fuck that shit. I'm not doing work at home. And if I didn't get my homework finished, guess what? I didn't turn it in. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. Fuck homework. Fuck school. Fuck all that bullshit. Critical race theory doesn't exist. Republicans are stupid. End scene. It's a bit interesting how many times schools try to dissuade people of using Wikipedia. Again, that's very important. They'll always say, Wikipedia is not a source. Wikipedia is not a source. Okay. Great. But guess what Wikipedia has? It has sources, right? So if Wikipedia is not a source, go to the source. Where can you find the source? On Wikipedia. So when I was in school, I'm 25, so it's not that long ago, right? Wikipedia was around when I was in school. When I was in school, they would say never, ever, 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 ever use Wikipedia. Not, oh, Wikipedia is crowdsourced. It can be edited by anyone. You have to understand how to read bullshit. If something doesn't sound right, click on the source, see if that's what the source says. Things are open to interpret. They don't teach you critical theory. They don't teach you how to read things and spot bullshit. They just say, don't read it at all. Doesn't matter. Only get things from pre-approved sources. That's all that, and again, Wikipedia is not perfect. It's not like, it's not the law. Like, look, I think there was like a study done that most Wikipedia editors are like men or something. And so like a lot of articles when it comes to like women's rights issues are a little like, skewed in a bad direction or not as, clear as they could be or not as, right? And so those are problems we have to fix. You don't fix those problems by just ignoring Wikipedia. Wikipedia is bad. Oh, never use it ever. You have to learn how to read things and spot bullshit. And they don't teach you that in school. So, but yeah, that's a good point. All right, folks. So I want to show this website here as well before I get into the recap, because this is a very important website that I think is that I stumbled upon. I hadn't seen it before, and it might have existed for a while, but I'm bad at this. But this is a website called Mappingpoliceviolence.org. I highly recommend checking it out. According to their data, which, again, we don't know if it's complete. I always cite this. Look at how they presented George Floyd's murder. They said a man died of a medical incident or something. It was not like as far as the report said, they didn't even, they walked onto the scene and someone was dead in the gutter. That's how they reported George Floyd's murder, right? And so, again, this is probably an incomplete list because oftentimes, whenever it's possible or convenient to do so, they will just lie and say that they didn't do anything, right? But here is a website, mappingpoliceviolence.org. According to their statistics, police have killed 978 people in the year of 2021. And as you can see, if we zoom in on North Carolina, we can see the situation that we had here with Andrew Brown Jr., and I'm going to get into the protest recap from today in just a second. But again, I want to look at more of these statistics. There have only been 12 days all year so far where police didn't kill anyone. 12 days. And again, it's impossible to know if these statistics are complete. So, but again, look at this. Black people are more likely to be killed by police. 3 times more likely to be killed by police than white people. 1.3 times more likely to be unarmed than white people. Police killed black people at higher rates than white people in 47 of the 50 largest U.S. cities. Chicago police, for example, killed black people at 22 times the rate of white people from 2013 to 2020. So again, with that being said, I wanted to share that website because I think that kind of stuff is important. But then also, I'm going to get into the protest recap. I believe it's been 232 days. Honestly, I've been really bad at keeping track of this. But here in Elizabeth City, as you can see on that little map there, in Elizabeth City, Andrew Brown Jr. was murdered by the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Department on April 21st, 2021. And again, the details of this case are damning. The warrant wasn't signed. They knew ahead of time Andrew Brown Jr. would be unarmed, right? They went in 7 sheriff deputies with assault rifles. They shot into neighbors' houses in a school zone at 8:30 a.m. And then immediately after shooting Andrew Brown Jr. in the back of the head, they didn't think to administer medical attention. Nope, they let him bleed out and die on the pavement. Right now, chances are he was already dead. But still, they let his body just kind of simmer in the sun, right, on the pavement for hours while they were tampering with evidence. Sheriff Deputy Daniel Meads, immediately following the shooting and killing of Andrew Brown Jr., shot him in the back of the head, by the way, immediately went about and modified his magazine, hiding the amount of shots that he fired and lying to investigators about it. So, again, we're seeing a situation right here where police are out of control. They're out of control. And I want to look at another statistic here as well. Look at this on Mappingpoliceviolence.org. There is no accountability. 98.3% of killings by police from 2013 to 2020 have not resulted in officers being charged with a crime. So again, it's one thing for them to be charged and to get off. 98.3% of the time, cops don't even get charged. So I want to go back to the story of Andrew Brown Jr. in Elizabeth City. Again, I want to ask you a question. If I am working at, Happy Taco, and I bring an AR-15 to work, and I shoot someone in the back of the head, am I going to get charged? Yeah. Am I going to get convicted? Yeah. But how come all of a sudden you work for the government and you get to kill anyone you want? Huh? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Shouldn't it be more likely for a private citizen to get off on these kinds of things than a state worker? The government gave them the gun. The government was in charge of training them how to use that gun. Shouldn't they be held to a higher standard of accountability? But 98.3% of the time, nothing happens. So we're seeing the situation where after Deputy Daniel Meads modified his magazine and lied to investigators, right, then they got paid vacation. All of them got paid vacation. Robert Morgan, Daniel Meads, and Aaron Llewellyn were 3 of the 7 sheriff deputies who fired their weapons and assassinated Andrew Brown Jr. Aaron Llewellyn resigned. No charges. But he resigned, and now he's going to go get another job. Robert Morgan and Daniel Meads got paid vacation for several months. They got to kick up their cankles on the coffee table and watch the latest season of whatever the fuck on Hulu and Netflix. And then, when they got back to work, guess what? They got a raise. The Pasquotank County Board of Commissioners gave the entire sheriff's department an increased salary budget. They got a raise after assassinating Andrew Brown Jr. That's a hitman right there. Right, they were paid to murder someone. Andrew Womble, the district attorney unfortunately, that has the same name as Andrew Brown Jr., Andrew Womble said, and I quote, "We couldn't let him get away." So let me get this straight. They knew he was unarmed. They couldn't let him get away. They murdered him and then got a raise. Doesn't that sound like legalized assassination? Doesn't it ring a bell? But wait, there's more. The Pasquotank County Board of Commissioners threw down the drain, set on fire $69,000 U.S. taxpayer dollars on bringing in an outside organization called Police to Peace so that we can change the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Department officers and deputies to peace officers, like out of 1984. Oh, it's all right. Robert Morgan, yeah, he killed your brother, your best friend, but he's a peace officer, bro. It's all good. What? He's a peace officer, but he killed someone. He's a peace officer, right? Recently, we had a Christmas parade in Elizabeth City, and the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Department had a float. Who did they decide to put on their float? Who did they decide to give a prominent platform? Robert Morgan, the murderer and assassin, the hired, paid hitman of Andrew Brown Jr., was parading around, dancing around Elizabeth City, a free man. If I, on April 21st, went to Bojangles, right, with my AR-15 and killed someone in the back of the head, would I be parading around on a Christmas parade in December? No, I would be in jail because we are held to a different standard than police. Police are allowed to do whatever they want. All they have to do is summer camp. So you go to summer camp, 8 months, you don't get trained at all, you get a gun, you get to kill anyone you want. Then you get to go parade around, you get to get free vacation, you get to have free overtime while you sit in your squad car and chew tobacco and do nothing, you get to take a nap, free overtime, you get a higher salary, you get on a fucking float, you get the parade, you get free coffee, you get this and that and this and that. All you have to do, summer camp. Fuck this country, fuck America, fuck police, fuck Pasquotank County, fuck Elizabeth City, fuck this whole goddamn country. It's awful. Anyone, and I mean anyone for a second, who would possibly ever think any of this is okay is a psychopath. They are a psychopath. They are a fucking terrible, disgusting garbage bag of a human being. Again, according to Mappingpoliceviolence.org, 98.3% of police killings, they don't even get charged. Fuck that. It's like a helicopter or something. I don't know if you can hear that. But yeah, so check out mappingpoliceviolence.org. I'm gonna throw this in here. This is a good site to bookmark. So I wanted to share that with y'all. Alright. Oh, man, I've been streaming for an hour already. The time flies when you're having fun. Check this out, folks. We got Clear American, aka Walmart, seltzer. Right? But wait. Little test sip. Here I have a Crush Strawberry Liquid Water Enhancer. Check that out. This is a liquid water enhancer. So what we're going to do is we're going to squirt this in here scientifically. Kind of looks like that fake Halloween blood a little bit. So we're going to do this. The classic shake. And now I have Diet Strawberry Soda. Isn't that incredible? How many chemicals are in that? I don't know. Let's find out live on stream. Water, citric acid, sodium citrate, natural and artificial flavors, red 40, sucralose, acylfame potassium, potassium sorbate to help protect flavor, sodium benzate to help protect flavor. There you go, folks. Strawberry Crush Diet Soda, bada boom. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. And then I got coffee right here. I don't know what to tell you. And then I've got other substances right... Oh, I can't show that on stream. Fuck. And then I'm set. I'm good to go. Watch out for those so-called natural... Oh, I'm well aware that nothing that... If it's not going to be listed... Right? If it's not going to tell me the ingredients, just going to say natural... I'm well aware. I am well aware that that's just bullshit. But yeah, so there you go. Bada motherfucking boom. Alright, what else do we have here? Folks, we're going to be talking about farts on this show. Now, first of all, on a serious note, farts are a sign of good digestive health. If you are farting a lot, you are probably healthier than someone who doesn't fart a lot. That being said, not all farts are good farts. So here we have Lauren Boebert talking about farts. And Ilhan Omar quote tweeted this, "Yup, fart caucus is definitely stinking up Congress." So let's watch what Lauren Boebert is saying about farts.
How many of you know that there is substantial legislation that passes the House of Representatives without a single member ever voting on it? How many of you know that that happens? It's unanimous consent. and they try to pass it really quickly. Unless there is someone there to object, a whole slew of bills will pass by unanimous consent. And so we have members who monitor the floor. Now listen carefully. We're called the Floor Action Response Team. Very congressional, right? Floor Action Response Team, yes. We make things really smelly for them. How many of you know?
So Lauren Boebert is stinking up Congress, and she's launching, proud to announce, the Fart Caucus. Again, folks, not all farts are good farts. But on a serious note, if you eat a lot of fiber, 95% of Americans don't eat enough fiber. What is fiber? Vegetables. The more fiber you eat, the more farts you have, right? You know the old phrase, you know, like beans make you fart or whatever? You want to know why beans make you fart? Because they've got fiber. So what are farts? Like, let's just analyze this. Let's take a moment to have like an actual, I'm giving you some information here with this little funny clip. So farts are when your bacteria inside of your digestive tract and in your intestines, right? What they do is they consume the fibrous materials. Fiber is things that do not get, burned up by your stomach and do not get digested by your body. They're kind of like, waste products that go through and they feed the bacteria. So when the bacteria munch on the fiber, what they do is they create gas, and then you fart. That's how the gas gets released. So again, farts are relatively healthy, but not all farts are good farts. Sometimes farts can be a little bit too farty, and sometimes there's some liquid associated with them, and that's always bad. And that's the kind of fart that I think Lauren Boebert is being responsible for here in Congress. But I just wanted to talk about that, touch on that, a little bit, get a little bit of I'm the only one in the history of the world that's going to cover this clip and talk about fiber, so I had to. There's no other option. Well, actually, there were plenty of other options, but I chose against them, so. All right. Let's continue with the show. So we got a show here, folks. I know oftentimes I say things like we got a show here, folks, but I want to remind you all that this is a show. And so if y'all could I haven't done this in a while because normally I forget. But if y'all want to contribute to the show at any time, I would appreciate like a Cash App, a PayPal, Patreon thing. If possible, the link is in the description. I'm just saying, I'm one person. I'm trying to survive out here, so if you have a little extra cash and you appreciate the show, feel free, and not only feel free, because you're always free, but feel compelled. Just saying, feel like a slight compulsion to provide me with some monetary resources that I can spend on fibrous material. So, or if you want to be like Catherine, what you can do is you can get in the scrolling text here. Just wait for it. It's going to be there any second now. Just any second now, it'll be there. So just, wait for that. Any second now, it'll be there. Let me just, speed this up a little bit. Just keep going. There we go. So you got the hyper patronizers. And so if you want to be there in the scrolling text, you can give me $40 a month. It's possible. And maybe someday I'll give you something, but right now it's a one-way transaction, unless you count this as another. But anyway, give me money, please, because I have no money. I have nothing. Look at this. This is all I have left. This is all I have left is a crumpled up $1 bill. So, wait, I lied. I have 3 of them. This is it. This is all I have. And even worse, Stephen Mnuchin drew on them. Look at this. Stephen Mnuchin wrote his name in print on my $1 bill. I have a signed copy, of a U.S. dollar with Steven Mnuchin's signature. So I think that devalued the currency. I think really that's what's going on with the inflation crisis, is the United States dollar has been devalued because Steven Mnuchin drew all over them. He drew on every single one that was printed over the last 4 years. And so I think that's really important to understand. But please, for the love of God, please consider giving me money. At some point in time, I will use that money to survive and to live and to just continue being a human being that exists. So that's the end of that segment. But we got some more segments, so let's go into this. So we've got a big bucket of cringe here, and I don't know how long I'm going to be able to get through this. This is a 4-minute video here. But we got a giant, like how they have at those fast food places, you got the big value bucket. Ugh, my apologies. That's basically this, but with cringe. So here we have a tweet. MTG is saying, yes, Dr. Paul Gosar, fire emoji. And then after the 2 fire emojis is yet another fire emoji. And so Matt Gaetz apparently has a podcast or something. I'm not sure. And Matt Gaetz talked with Dr. Paul Gosar, the guy who posted anime online and got owned, about I don't even know. I honestly haven't watched this yet, but I've been told it was funny. So that's all I'm going with. Let's watch.
One of the points of leverage that people talk about is the utilization of shutdowns.
Yeah.
What would be the Paul Gosar standard for what is worth shutting the government down if we had the majority?
To get back to the systems of the way the process works. Good process builds good policy, builds good politics. It's that simple. It's getting back to get light on all these issues.
Would you shut down the government over immigration?
I would.
Would you shut down the government over vaccine mandates?
Absolutely.
So again, we're not talking about lockdowns, as in people being forced to stay at home. We're talking about the government shutting down via gridlock, which basically what that means is that, the government doesn't pay, anyone that works for the government doesn't get a paycheck, right? People that are relying on government benefits don't get them paid out. That's what a government shutdown means. So, basically, they're just pontificating. If they retake Congress, they're going to destroy the federal government over stupid shit. So let's keep listening.
Would you shut down the government over mask mandates?
I might do it a different way, but I think that, I don't think you have to get that.
What about funding for Planned Parenthood? Would you shut down? Would you hold a government funding bill if the Planned Parenthood funding didn't come out?
Yeah, I actually would. I mean, in my short history in Congress, we've seen a couple.
Can we talk about? By the way, hold up.
In my short history,
what is this? Are you seeing this? Is this visible? What is this? Does anyone know what's going on here? Look at my cursor, right? Check it out. It's right here. Look at this. There's a mysterious, there's something going on there. But anyway.
In Congress, we've seen a couple shutdowns.
Why are Republicans so scared of them? It seems like Republicans are worried that, any shutdown, we're going to take the blame. And frankly, I think we've had some shutdowns in the past where we haven't explained our basis well to people. Yeah. But there seems to be a Republican fear about using government shutdowns as leverage. It seems as though you would use the threat of that shutdown to advance these promises that we seem to make to our voters year after year.
But I don't think that's the only thing, Matt. I think we lack a strategy.
I gotta be honest. This whole thing, look at this. It's visible. It's visible in every angle.
There's ways of getting things done, and you set something up by putting one bill to tee it off, and then you bring something else behind it. And what I've seen here is people are timid to actually step out. And we need people that are going to say, okay, we do this first, we do this, da-da-da-da-da. You build that trust. Ask the people. Okay, and you've heard me speak. You know,
all right, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to listen to the whole thing. But like, they're threatening to shut down the government if they retake Congress in the 2022 midterms, and they're going to shut it down over dumbass bullshit. Again, if Republicans take the House in the next election, we're fucked. I don't know what to tell you. We are fucked. And just to be very clear, because I know people can misunderstand, we're not getting fucked in the good dick way. We're not going to come for like 15 times. Like, that's not happening, all right? Again, to be very clear, I would support shutting down the government if we got fucked in the good dick way. It's not going to happen. We're going to get fucked in the bad dick way, the way that no one wants to get fucked. And so I want to be very clear. I hate Democrats, right? But Republicans are literally evil. They will, like, again, food stamp benefits will expire if they shut down the government for extended periods of time, right? This kind of thing is very important to understand, and it affects a lot of people, and they're willing to just shut it down for stupid shit. Just stupid-ass bullshit. And so, again, and these people are taking over the Republican Party. Like, these are, like, the Trump-aligned, like, doofuses, right? And so, again, you gotta pay attention to this shit. Democrats are shit. They're garbage. They're fucking gum on my shoes. But even worse, Republicans are shit on my shoes. And we need to understand that. But anyway, that's it. I'm like, let's just skip to here. Just kidding. Twitter won't even let me. Censored by big tech. All right, folks. That's the show for today. Thank you all for watching. I'll linger. How's it going? Does anyone have any, like, tomorrow is Saturday, so I'll be live at 12 in the noon. Sunday, I'll be live at 10. I'd once again request if y'all could send me money. That would be nice. It's not required, but you should. So, just throwing that out there. I got some money on Cash App. Thank you, Courtney. I appreciate it. I gotta cry. Look at this. Hold up. Maxie! Check this out. Maxie! Max! Gotta get him hyped up. Maxie! So, think about it this way. Maybe you don't want to give me money. That's fine. I'm a fucking stupid bitch. Right? But how about you consider giving money to the dog? This is Max the dog. He is a lovely dog. I love him. I spend every day of my life hugging this dog because he's beautiful. Look at him. He's got big eyes, and he's got a beautiful nose, and he's got a sweater because he's a Christmas doggy. Look at this. Look at this beautiful angelic pup. Do you want this pup to eat higher quality food? Well, I can feed him high quality food if you give me money. So this is Max the dog. Please consider donating. Please consider giving me your hard-earned money so that this dog can live the best life. He was abused his entire life until I rescued him. He was abused. He was chained up outside in the rain. And the doodle's ruining my segment by exciting Maxie. But he was chained up outside in the rain. And I'm trying to give him a beautiful life. I want him to be happy. And so if you can maybe consider sparing some of your extra dollars. Again, Max, look at this. This is not okay. This isn't enough. This is not enough for Max the dog. So, hopefully that worked. Anyway, if you don't have money, it's all good. Like, it's my job. Got to do it somehow. But, yeah, so, I don't think I have anything else to talk about. Let me check Twitter. What's going on Twitter? Whoa. That was crazy. Whoa. Should we read some comments? Let's read some comments. All right. Oh, Lord. Is this real? This can't be real. Hold up. I gotta read this to see if it's sarcasm. Because this is the world we live in. Okay, I think it's real. Alright, folks. Wow. Alright. So, in fact, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make this a segment, because then I can monetize it again. So I just got a really interesting comment, very recently, an hour ago. I just got this very interesting comment. And this is on a Jimmy Dore video I made. Jimmy Dore is selling Let's Go Brandon merchandise. You can go watch this video here, if you'd like. I made this video yesterday. But anyway, so Mr. 2U, a very concerned individual, they've got some very interesting points of view, has left some comment on my, and I thought it was sarcasm, but I think it's real. And so if it is sarcasm, you got me. I got trolled, but it might be real. So please enlighten yourself. All right, hold up. I turned my light on. All right. Jimmy Dore is a national treasure. But then they put in parents, some consider him a god. And this is why I thought it was sarcasm. There is literally no way that someone wrote that out and was like, yup. So again, this is probably sarcasm, but it's hard to tell now. Jimmy hates warmongering neocons, parents, and yes, Biden is one of them. Now, again, I don't like Biden. I think Biden is garbage. But let's be real about what Biden has done. He's pulled out of Afghanistan. Was it a little bit of a clusterfuck? Sure. And he's also basically he's cut back significantly on drone strikes, which I think is good. And so again, is he a bad person? Yeah. Is his foreign policy bad? Yeah. But it's a little bit better than Trump, for example. Right? It's a little bit better than Barack Obama so far, for example, right? George W. So far, he's probably got the best foreign policy of my lifetime, right? So I'm just throwing that out there. Now, am I a Biden supporter? No, I fucking hate Biden, right? But I'm just saying, that's just some info. Neocons can be Republican or liberal. The two genders, Republican and liberal, okay? And he has extreme hate for neocons that run in the progressive liberal label. Did Biden run as a progressive? I don't think so. Nothing hurts working people more than electing so-called progressives only to find out that they always vote for corporate interests. If anyone voted for Joe Biden thinking that he was a progressive, they're stupid. No one thought Joe Biden was a progressive. 0% of the human population on Earth, all across the world. And if you took a time machine back in time and then showed anyone throughout any human history, the events of the 2020 election, none of them, any human who's ever lived, would ever classify Joe Biden as a progressive. It's just not, but okay. Neocon progressives love to use identity politics to get elected. Joe Biden is a white guy, who's 80 years old. But, all right. And once they get into office, they do the bidding of warmongering corporations in the military-industrial complex. That is all very true. I have no idea what this has to do with Jimmy Dore. You are still a child. So there is hope for you to wake up to the ugly truth of this country. Again, this is all stuff I talk about on my show all the time. Literally every single day, I talk about how the state kills people for no reason, right? In my protest recaps. So, don't know what this person's talking about. And yes, it is perfectly acceptable to sell Let's Go B ... t-shirts because Biden is a neocon. Again, if you want to sell a t-shirt that says fuck Joe Biden, Let's go. In fact, I might sell that t-shirt, right? But again, Let's Go Brandon is specifically a right-wing slogan. The right-wing slogan to replace Joe Biden with Donald Trump. So again, what? So, okay, I hate neocons. Great start, so I'm going to support Republicans. But again, this is the average Jimmy Dore fan. They hate Democrats so much that they put people that are actually way worse on all of those positions in power, and then they don't complain about it. I don't even know. It's fascinating. And again, I thought this was satire at this point, but this looks real. It looks real. So I don't know what's going on there. In fact, I'm going to investigate. This is interesting. There's no information at all. So this is interesting. But anyway, I got a very concerned comment on my Jimmy Dore video. So I wanted to share that with the rest of the class. It's hard to tell. It really is. Yeah, Steven Donziger was released. That's very good news. I'm going to be honest. I don't know all the details on that, so maybe I can get someone on to talk about that. Maybe I can get him on. Should I try to get Steven on? Maybe, because I followed it very loosely, but I know he got essentially convicted by an actual corporation. He didn't really violate any laws, right? So I bet I'm not terribly informed on that, but I would be open to a primer on that if someone wants to send me one. Yeah, Thorman, you're dumb. Trump didn't start any wars. That's one of those things that's so obviously stupid that it's incredible that people actually think that that's a talking point. When the United States is in war with 9 different countries, you don't need to start another war. You know what that's the thing that's incredible to me. It's okay, so Trump assumes office. We're at war with 9 countries. Trump didn't start any wars. Did he end the war? Right. If you're trying to paint Trump as an anti-war candidate, then okay, if he assumes office and we're at war with 9 countries, right, he would have ended the wars. Right? That, he's anti-war, right? He would have ended the wars. So, okay, he assumes office, we're at war with 9 countries, he's going to go oh damn, I hate this, war is bad, I'm going to end the wars. But he didn't. In fact, he escalated in all of them. Every single war that we were in was escalated under Donald Trump. There were more drone strikes. More innocent civilians were killed. The famine in Yemen got even worse, for example. He literally ran interference for Jamal Khashoggi's murderer. Remember that? So, a journalist writing about war crimes was assassinated and chopped up Dexter style by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, and Donald Trump supported that. So the idea that Trump is anti-war is fiction. That is you read that in a book somewhere that's in the fiction aisle. So that's some strange stuff right there. I'm going to drink some more of my strawberry liquid water enhancer seltzer here. There you go. Check this out. This is the mix-up. Look at this. You see what I'm doing here? This is science. So I'm getting my liquid water enhancer, right? And what I'm doing is I'm shaking it around for equal and optimal distribution. You can hear it too. Look, because of the carbon. That's crazy stuff. That's high tech. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching the goddamn, also known as the motherfuck. I will see y'all tomorrow. Hello, Promoted Firebird. Goodbye, Promoted Firebird. And goodbye, everyone else. Thank you. Have a good day. Fuck breakfast. Fuck cereal. Fuck Starbucks. Fuck Kellogg's. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Matt Gaetz. Fuck Joe Biden. Who am I missing? Fuck Lauren Boebert. Fuck Christmas as well. Fuck Christmas. Fuck Pasquotank County. Fuck Elizabeth City. Fuck Tommy Wooten. Fuck them all straight to hell and watch them burn.
Then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. Isn't it wonderful to allow protests? It's just soup. These people are very, very... Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No. Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Can you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
That isn't what it meant.
But what did it mean now? Explain.
It meant that it's indicative of low-resolution thinking.
It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television. Make sure you have the record player on at night. 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 And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs on my lap, and I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
You know, I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.